And so, I left my home on a divine pilgrimage to search for my matron and find solace in her presence. The journey led me far beyond the city, through dense woodland, and then a swamp. In my travels, I encountered strange and curious creatures, small in number at first, but as I ventured deeper into the land, the creatures seemed to multiply. I was cautious of these goblins, but one day I encountered a priest of some sort. He bade me come closer and relieved me of my fear with his calming words.
Poop in the bowl.
The priest held out a small, crude stone chalice and asked me to poop in the bowl.
Poop into the bowl, mortal man.
As if in a trance, I did as I was told. Then he left me in peace, taking his poop chalice with him.
Selfishly you hoarded your offerings to the bowl, but no more. Goblins of the Poopyridge, thank you for your gift.
Why I did it, I still don't understand. Why do things happen, as they do in dreams? I wandered for days, finding no sign of my matron. No vision, nor comforting words answered my constant prayer. The goblins were now more numerous, and their forms seemed more warped and grotesque the further I traveled from the city. But they left me alone, nodding approvingly as I passed. I had seen many things in my journeys, but nothing could have prepared me for what I encountered on this fateful day. In the distance, I saw a group of the goblins. They were performing some kind of strange religious ceremony.
Give your offerings to the bowl.
Tens, no hundreds of hooded goblins all in a line were carrying little bowls filled with excrement and emptying them into a large central bowl at the center of a crude ritual site. I was disgusted, but something compelled me to draw nearer, despite the increasing uneasiness I felt emanating from the bowl. It was as if the smell was fouling the atmosphere, the entire landscape, and I felt the profound wrongness of the act, sense of shame at the act of pooping in which I had participated.
These mortals have hoarded their offerings to the bowl.
But amidst the shame was also a power, an excitement and invigoration, as if I could be part of a greater whole. I felt I was to be improved, no longer my old self, but something new. Besides that, there was an impression that engaging in their ritual would offer me protection from whatever increasingly abstract and disgusting sights were to come, so it would be wise to appease the denizens of this poop coven. In that moment, I begged the Raven Queen for a sign, but she remained silent. There was only the bowl, and I entranced, like a moth to a flame. I ran toward the enormous bowl. I noticed I was not the only person. There were men, women, children, holding hands and singing, scupping merrily up the ramp and casting themselves into it. I watched them jump into the churning blackness of the bowl. The horror of what I saw, the smiles on their faces as they fell. It momentarily broke the spell, the coils of the great poop bowl briefly loosening around my heart. I had the sense to flee, but something within the Stygian abyss of the bowl spoke to me, spoke with the voice of my goddess. I turned and saw something emerging from the void. It was beautiful and terrible. I knew I would go mad if I stayed another moment in that wretched place. I awoke not recalling how much time had passed, malnourished and in chains. Slavers of the Kryn dynasty had picked me up off the road. They took me far from that swamp. I welcomed my chains, but even miles away, I still feel the gaze of that yawning abyss. I still hear the chanting, and feel their eyes upon me, willing me to give all of myself to the bowl. Now I labor under the perpetual darkness of the Zoresian sky, digging vast latrines for the other slaves, to receive their offerings. I was not given this duty. No, I volunteered. My overseers desired a trench, but what I gave them was a great bowl. Selfishly, my overseers hoard their offerings inside themselves. Rarely do they give to the bowl, but they all relent eventually. And one day, when the bowl is full of their offerings, I will cast myself into it and rejoice in the changes, in the ecstasy that follows.